The elevator doors slid open into the top floor of the tallest building in the city, a floor that normally only executives, investors, and security were allowed to enter, yet standing there was a tiny girl with golden curls bouncing on her shoulders, her small hands gripping the straps of a worn-out backpack, her heart beating faster than the machines humming behind the walls. And the secretary at the desk almost dropped her pen when she saw her because no child had ever crossed these polished marble floors alone before. "Sweetheart, are you lost?" she asked softly, but the little girl shook her head, lifting her chin bravely the way her mother had taught her, and said in a trembling but determined voice, "My mom is sick, so I came instead. I need to see Mr. Harrington, the most powerful CEO in the city, a man whose name appeared on Forbes lists, billboards, and news channels, but whom nobody approached without an appointment booked weeks in advance, and yet there was something in the child's eyes that made the entire floor go silent, as if the building itself was listening, and before the secretary could even respond, the heavy glass doors of the corner office opened and there he was, tall, sharp-suited, with eyes that had negotiated billion-dollar deals without blinking, and when he saw the small figure standing in his hallway, his world seemed to pause. "Did you just say you are here to see me?" he asked, his voice gentler than the rumors suggested, and she nodded, stepping forward carefully. "Yes, sir, my mommy couldn't come today, she's very sick, but she told me to give you this," and she pulled out a folded piece of paper, creased and worn, as if it had been held 1,000 times in trembling hands, and when he unfolded it, his breath caught in his chest because it was a resignation letter written in the shaky handwriting of one of his most loyal employees, a cleaning woman named Elena, a woman he had never spoken to despite seeing her name on countless staff reports, and beneath the resignation were 3 heartbreaking words, "I am sorry," and before his mind could even process the weight of it, the girl whispered, she didn't want to leave, she loves her job, but she can't stand anymore, and the hospital said we need money to make her better, and in that moment, the richest man in the city felt poorer than he ever had before, because no amount of money had ever looked as heavy as those tiny hands holding a hopeless letter, so he knelt down to her level, ignoring the glass walls and the eyes watching in shock, and asked, "What is your name, brave one?" And she replied, "Lily," and with those 5 letters, the armor around his heart cracked as he remembered a little girl with the same curls, the same wide eyes, and the same name, a daughter he had lost many years ago along with his wife to illness while he was too busy building empires to sit by a hospital bed, and the memory hit him like a storm, and suddenly this office no longer felt like a castle but like a prison he had built for himself. "Lily," he repeated softly, "your mother should not have to choose between her health and her job. No one in my company should," and with one single decision, everything changed. Because he stood up, called his assistant, and ordered the company doctor, a private ambulance, and full medical coverage not just for Elena but for Lily as well, and then he made another call, one that shocked the board of directors, announcing the creation of a new employee care program, ensuring that no worker in his empire would ever again suffer in silence, and when they asked him why he was doing all this, he didn't answer with business logic or numbers, he simply looked at the little girl now sitting on his office couch sipping warm chocolate milk and said, "Because today, a child walked into power with honesty instead of fear," and that story spread throughout the building like electric light in darkness, and employees began to work not just for a paycheck, but for a leader who had finally remembered what it meant to be human. And when Elena recovered and returned, walking into the same office she had only ever cleaned after hours, she fell to her knees in tears, but the CEO only held her shoulders gently and said, "No mother should ever apologize for surviving." And from that day on, Lily became a symbol of courage inside the company. Her small photo hung in the hallway with a golden frame underneath that read, "One brave heart can change 1,000 lives," and every time Mr. Harrington felt himself drifting back into cold ambition, he would remember the day a tiny knock echoed through his door, not from a millionaire, not from a politician, but from a child who came in place of her sick mother and unknowingly saved a broken billionaire from himself. So if this story touched your heart, if you believe kindness still has power in this world, then don't just listen and scroll away, become part of this movement. Subscribe to this channel and join us in spreading stories that remind the world that even the smallest voices can change the biggest destinies.